Speaking of Chance the Rapper.
Speaking of Chance the Rapper, time to get on to the next topic. And this is another topic that we've been kind of dilly-dallying about and talking about, but we haven't really got into the details. I was going to say meat again, but I know how you feel.
We've dipped our toe in the water.
We've dipped our toe in the water, and now it's time to get into it. So I guess what we want to talk about now is defining what an industry plant is.
Chance the Rapper.
And whether they really exist.
Yes, they do.
So I guess, I mean, you know, hood tales and general conversation around music fans these days is the idea of an industry plant. Someone that has been catapulted in, well, I mean, I suppose we all have different definitions of it, but to me, what an industry plant is someone who has been catapulted into a position that they might not necessarily warrant, and they're just treated like a darling of the industry when their music doesn't necessarily stand up.
But how do you identify
Let me extend that definition with the feigned narrative that this is an organic, independent route.
But how do you identify that?
I feel like you could tell.
Everybody has a trail and everybody has a history. If we don't see your history, chances are you've been planted.
Speaking of chances, I feel like Chance the Rapper's one.
That was a good one.
You said it.
I think he's the biggest one.
Why do you think
Chance the Rapper
I've never listened to a Chance the Rapper project, but Chance the Rapper damn near the biggest
is
rapper.
fire.
Yeah, but that's you though.
But he came out of nowhere.
He's fire,
He's number 3
but
hat.
I think Chance the Rapper, the biggest sign that he was a plant was the fact that he won a Grammy for a mixtape.
And wasn't he on Apple Music when he was meant to be independent and some bullshit like that?
So look, I mean, yeah,
Basically.
the Apple Music thing was interesting because he basically just got paid to give Apple the exclusive. I think he got mad criticism for it. So he clarified it on Twitter. He said he got like $500K to give them the exclusive for a couple of weeks.
This was for Colouring Book.
But like, I think we need to go back, right? Like, he did 10-day mixtape, which was poorly mixed, wasn't the greatest, had some really good songs on it, but wasn't the best. And then he goes from being unknown to on his next mixtape, which is a fucking classic, yeah, Acid Rap. And if you look at that album, the mixtape, I consider it an album, it's a mixtape. Look at the collaborations, man. From an unknown artist out of nowhere. Action Bronson, Twister, who else did he have on there?
Absol.
Is he second mixtape?
This was his first proper official mixtape,
So,
but like it was his second mixtape. But like Acid Rap was like super polished, super refined,
and he's got all these
like,
features.
Yeah, he's got the cosign from Kanye in a sense as well, because he's got like songs that are named after Kanye West, like Good Ass Intro and stuff like that. Like, and then you're already starting to hear about like his relationship with certain artists in the background. And then all of a sudden, like, he's doing a new album, which was going to be called C3, change the name to Colouring Book, and he's basically propelled to a level that no one's ever known, and he's already, like, getting nominated for Grammys off a mixtape, this Colouring Book thing, and then the collaborations that he's got with that are, like, gone up from being the Vic Menzers and the Action Bronsons to the Lil Waynes and the 2 Chainz and the Futures and all this other stuff, and it's just, like, all under the guise that he was independent. Now, the independent route will have you paying a hell of a lot of money to get Future on a collab and to get all these men on a collab. So the question is, how did that happen?
It's the fact that, especially, not to hop on the Grammy stuff too much, but it's the fact that he, seemingly as an independent artist, going against a machine, the Grammys, and making them change the format of how they give out awards. That is, for me, powerful. For someone who has only had 2 mixtapes, and is nominated for another one, right? That doesn't happen. So something is
but could it be that the music was so good that it was forced to happen?
No.
I think you lot can speak for that. I've never listened to a Chance the Rapper project.
No, the music wasn't that good.
I'm playing devil's advocate because
I've never listened to a Chance the Rapper project.
Like these labels, they identify talent and they identify the people that they're going to be able to make the most amount of seismic change in the industry. Like we got Lil
How do you gauge that though?
I don't know, like it could be personality, it could be the catalog that they know you possess. It could be one song. Like Lil Nas X had one song. He's the clearest industry plant we've had in recent years, and he said it. You know what I mean? He jokes around with it. He knows. Nobody knew who the hell he was, and now he's got what was the Spotify statistic?
He's got
the longest number one song of all time
on the Billboard.
Right, and I know that's all streams, but they see something in these people, and ultimately, if they have confidence in you, they're just going to back you with money. And if they think that their marketing plan is genius, like it was in the case of Lil Nas X, like,
has that been happening for a while though? Or has
yeah, there's different levels to it.
I feel like the social media.
There's different levels to it.
But even before that, like,
No, I feel like
There's
social
been
media put
manufacturing of artists since the beginning of time.
No, but I
right?
feel like
Like,
social media just put more eyes on it.
yeah,
You know,
maybe.
I feel like the conversation just opened up because of social media, really.
Yeah, I look, man. I the biggest issue I got with the whole industry plant thing is when people say that they're super independent. Like for me, when you're an independent artist, I have sold CDs face to face, hand to hand after gigs, like gigs I performed at, gigs I weren't performing at. Like I've lost money by giving people my stuff for free. Like the piss takes you have to take from people in the industry, producers who only want to work with the big people. You'll do a track and then you put all your money in, you pay for studio time, and then they'll be like, oh, you know, that beat's gone to someone else. Like there's an independent struggle in it. There is a real struggle to being an independent artist. So when people come through and they've got the backing and they're like, yo, I'm independent. That's the problem I got with the whole industry plant thing. Because there's been a manufactured people since the beginning of time. I said before this, Tiny Temper to a degree.
Yeah, no, I got to disagree
Planted
with you, bro.
a little bit.
I can't.
Why?
Just based on what you man have
little
said
bit.
about what a plant is, that doesn't make sense to me.
But why
little
is he a
bit.
plant? But why
A
is he a plant?
little bit. I think as well, like, and you also have to think about the now. Like, I think Tiny Temper, basically, they saw a talented, so to speak, rapper. He wasn't anywhere near. If we're talking about grime, like that first resurgence of grime where people were getting number ones, Tinchy's, Chip, and all them, man, like, they had a specific requirement of what they wanted from the artists who were going to blow up. Tiny Temper fit that mold. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was good looking, he had a poppy sound, he was clean, he wasn't going to get into any trouble, you know what I mean? Like, they linked him up immediately with the most talented producer we probably have. Shout out Labyrinth, yeah, because I think he's the most slept on artist we have. And release Pass Out, release Frisky, and a couple of the other tunes. As soon as that relationship was over, Tiny Temper was over.
Yeah, but he's not over.
Tiny Temper's kind of done it.
And
Where is Tiny? What do you mean he's not over?
bruv, he's still about.
What's he doing?
About where, bruv? You
Make-
see him. You
make
see him in
music.
front
He's
rows.
dropping
You see him
projects.
in front
Making
rows
music
at London Fashion Man's Week or whatever it is, like shaking hands. But like that doesn't mean anything to me. I
All
want
right,
music.
fine. He may not be active at the moment, but everything
though.
you've just said.
Is he active?
He dropped a project like last year, I believe.
But
He's
even
still
with
active.
everything you just said, I don't think it's completely fair to ignore what he was doing before. Like, let's not act as though Wifey Rhythm didn't happen and wasn't.
So you think
there was a
you
massive gap between all that stuff?
So
by
you
the
think
way,
he's
like.
not-
Yeah,
You
no,
think they
it was
just
a few
caught on?
years, of course.
There's a
but
massive
still,
gap. I think
he's
it was more than
still-
a few years as well.
But I thought, like, even with Wifey Rhythm, that was a solid foundation for what was to come next. I think with dropping that song, he showed he could have the commercial appeal. He could appeal to wider audiences.
Look,
It just so happened that he happened to get with a
Tiny
great,
Temper, as I said,
accessible producer.
So you feel they just caught on late?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
so I
not
don't think
putting.
it's fair to
I think
call
I
him
said. I said like there are levels to it, and I think like at any given time the industry decides that there's someone who's going to be the one. Do you know what I mean? And at that time, Tiny Temper was going to be the one, irrespective. All of the doors opened. He did all of the stuff before, winning all the Mobos and all the Brits and all this other stuff that Stormzy and them man are doing today. There's always certain levels to it. He went off and did his whole website. I can't remember what his website was called, Coffee and Tea or whatever thing that he did. He built like an organic base to an extent. Yeah, but I feel like he definitely had like doors open for him in a way that for me isn't really the independent struggle that it's been painted.
But was he ever like really independent, or was he always like on a label? From like,
No, when he was making the first stuff, like Hood Economic stuff and all that stuff, I believe he was all independent.
No, I think he was signed. He was, I think, aligned with, I think, I can't remember the name of that management company, but I feel like Bruiser around the time was aligned with them as well.
That's a bruiser.
And I just their name is escaping me, so I don't know if he was 100% independent, and I don't even know if he claimed to be.
No, I mean, I don't think that was his marketing pull, but you know, that's always a story that's sold to us.
Oh, he started from Pirate Garage Radio and he got plucked from obscurity and...
yeah, and like you say, Rich, it's like there are levels to it in the sense of
Look at me like that for.
Because you know the narrative, innit? Like,
Yeah, it was them, they were in the top of some building
shout out the white man.
estates and they were wiring pirate FM waves.
What's up with the voice?
Shout out the
Sounds
white
like
man.
Logan
I
Sama.
don't know, man. Just sounds like somebody who'd like talk about it in the news.
Feel you.
But I do agree with you in the sense that
shots
there
there.
are levels to it, because that's one level, and someone like a Chance is another level. Someone who seems to be independent and says he's independent when really he's being backed by a big machine.
Oh, like Stormzy.
Controversial, but
I don't feel like Stormzy's a plant. We just get involved. I just don't feel like Stormzy's a plant.
straight off rip.
I don't feel like, nah, you can't. I don't, personally, do I feel like Stormzy got back in? Yes.
Always had it.
Then he's not independent.
Always had it.
I think any
I
form
don't
of
think he claims
backing.
like he's independent though.
He always had
He says Mercury Records, but I'm pretty sure he's got a major behind him as well.
Yeah, Atlantic.
That's my point. So therefore, how is he claiming he's independent?
He always
No,
had
no, no, no. But he was always claiming to be independent before that.
When did he get signed to Atlantic?
Last year.
officially.
Before the album.
Officially last year.
Like,
Before that
Atlantic
album-
have history of like aligning themselves with artists, taking a sort of half investment risk on people, seeing if they blow, and then signing them up to something a little bit more long term.
Wait, is that a plan?
Yeah.
What, getting signed? Them just investing in you, see how far you
Yeah,
go.
because
and then-
like the whole
that's
independent
when you-
thing is a marketing pull, right? Like people are more subscribed to your story and like more gravitated towards you if the story is like, oh, you're doing this off your own back.
That's a culture now
Like,
in music. Like,
People want
a
to see
lot-
the struggle, but if there's no struggle really because you're lying to the people, then yeah, you're planted.
A lot of
So
artists
if
now.
you say you,
I feel like Stormzy was organic. Sorry, I just feel like Stormzy was organic with it.
so say I want to start a rap career tomorrow, right? I display a certain level of talent. I happen to come across
What R&B?
I happen to come across a company that want to invest in me. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna give you this amount of money to make your music, into production, into your image. We're gonna do this. I then make a song. It catches. People start feeling it,
And then
and
decide-
it blows. Am I a plant?
Yeah, because you haven't. Did you tell everyone your
I haven't told.
And it's
no,
not just
say
about,
I haven't told
but I don't
anyone.
necessarily- but I
you
don't
know, it's not just about the funding as well, right? You know, it's about the opportunities as well, right? So being aligned with a label, they have distribution channels, they have contacts, they have all of these opportunities which are
Radio.
basically waiting for a Stormzy shaped or a Little Nas shaped artist.
So if you think about
They
all
are
the radio
they've
songs,
they've
the
planned
awards.
your trajectory. When you are an unknown act and you are basically signing 5 to 6 figure deals with brands all around the world, nobody knows who the F you are. You don't really have a fan base and all this other stuff. How do you think that's happening? You haven't forged these relationships yourself. You've been put in these positions and told to go and flourish
Yeah, having the backing
because they
of
have
some-
faith that you will flourish. The part of this that we're missing and the part we're not going to sleep on is these man's abilities, these people's abilities, these artists' abilities to just make good music, right? Like
Yeah, I don't necessarily.
you
think-
can't fake that unless you got mad songwriters and all this other stuff. But so there is a certain amount of credit that comes with the artist. You know what I mean? Like doing it. But being an industry plant is basically being put in a position where it's harder to fail.
Then it's just, yeah.
Yeah, and to have funding, just simple funding, doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah, funding is nothing.
But
Funding
it's
is
the
nothing.
You're just saying
people
the other, the back end of stuff.
yeah. On the
Funding's
back end,
nothing.
the people that are putting you in those positions to succeed and not fail, basically.
How many people had like a viral video? Krypton Conan had a viral video with the Otis thing,
got taken
which
down,
is
though.
basically the exact same thing as what Stormzy did in the park was shut up. One gets locked off YouTube, one gets nominated for
But
a
there's a
Mobo.
difference though. Otis wasn't their song.
Stormzy's took an instrumental from someone.
I hear you.
You feel me? So
I feel like
same
Otis-
thing.
and I know
I
he
don't think it
and I
is,
know
though,
he
man,
ended up
but
doing it the
Otis
right
was-
way.
the same thing.
And I know
Otis
he
was- I
ended
don't
up
feel
doing
like
it
he
the
did,
right
though,
way
because-
because he hooked up with the producer, and I think they got some sort of thing.
They did, but then Otis was the
It's the
biggest song
same
in the
thing,
world
though.
as well, though.
It's the
So
same
it's
thing.
not.
I feel you, but-
Bruv, Otis was the biggest song in the world. You can't just take Jay-Z and Kanye's beat and just think it's gonna be all kosher.
Why not?
Fine.
Because it's Jay-Z and Kanye.
I get that.
It
I
don't
get
matter.
that.
But that's just
don't
how
matter.
that's how it works legally.
It's the same thing in principle, isn't it?
That's just legally how it works.
Yeah, but
though.
it was a
they have
freestyle, though.
But they have a right to take it out. You can't put that on Stormzy and be like, that's.
But in principle, it's the same thing. You're taking someone else's beat.
I
and
agree.
making
In
it
principle,
your
it
own.
is. However, one got taken down because the other party decided to be petty, and one was like, "Fuck it, let's just link up."
I just think he was
see
put
what I'm
into
saying?
some really, really good. I remember what was it? Was it Rebel?
What culture clash?
Culture Clash, there was the Mobos and this other stuff that basically happened all before he would release anything, even before he had anything more than a couple songs out. And again, like this shit isn't coincidental. It's not coincidental at all.
Do I feel like he's had back in here? Do I feel like he's a plant? Maybe it's because
It sounds bad,
get
innit?
chosen.
It
I
sounds
just wanna know how
bad.
you
The
get
whole
chosen.
idea of being like a plant,
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
just-
like
it's
you're
a
some
it's
sort of like,
negative, yes.
like you're
It's a
some sort of
negative
like
connotation.
informant. You know what I mean? Like it does sound like you're on the inside trying to like take down the mob, but I get it. Like, but ultimately,
So yeah, but do you feel like he's a
I
plant?
think most artists want to be a plant.
Yeah, but what do you think? Do you
I think he is a plant. I agree. He's been put in positions where he cannot fail. I think he has been doing things under the guise of being independent where really he's had help. I remember watching the Brits maybe a couple years ago, and I saw an advert for Gang Signs and Prayer, and it was just like Murky. I don't know many independent labels that are really funding that sort of thing, like unless they're like really, really big. So there had to have been some kind of help there from a bigger label.
And you're saying like the Atlantic thing only really got announced after Gang Signs and Prayer.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, come on.
But how long has he been
He
signed?
was getting prime time adverts like for Gang Signs and Prayer.
Are you
like-
sure? How do you know he never got announced before he signed with Murky? Just out of curiosity.
No, because it was announced after.
100%.
It was announced after the album.
Then he headlined.
Then it's
he
different.
headlined
That's
Wireless when he only had like "Shut Up" and "Where Do You Know Me From" or some shit. Like if I remember the timeline.
No, he had Gang Signs at that point.
I think he did.
Because when I saw him at V Festival, he was headlining, but then he had Gang Signs and Prayer at that point.
Me and Pete
no,
saw-
Jay-Z was headlining.
I
he
think
was just
years
below that.
before that, Stormzy was already on.
But that doesn't matter. When you're on Wireless, there's a difference between headline. If he was on Wireless, I get it. He could go on Wireless with Just Shut Up. That little fat kid
Really?
with one song. What's his name? Dino.
He more or
had one
less
song.
did that outlook a couple years ago when me
Yeah,
and
but
Pete went.
but there's artists that have only got 1 or 2 songs that are on Wireless. I don't feel that's
Yeah,
expectation.
Wireless is whatever.
Yeah,
but
I don't feel that's expectation to Stormzy. Do I feel like, from what you guys are telling me, it does sound like he's a plant. Don't get me wrong.
It sounds shaky, man.
But
It does.
it's just
He was on X Factor.
But it just
I think
sounds
he was on
negative.
X Factor
yeah, that's
before
the
Gang
problem. I
Signs.
feel like because I feel like to me,
be
Stormzy's
it.
music has held its.
He was on
He's-
Love Island before Gang Signs.
That's because Stormzy at that point was a celebrity tweeting
around the same time.
That doesn't matter though. He's a celebrity tweeting about Love Island.
Bruv, loads of celebrities going to tweet.
Not on that
about it.
level of Stormzy.
But before his album, before
But
he
how?
already
But why
really
has he
know.
got to that level? That's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like tweeting and then just
Bro,
end
I
up on
generally, maybe I'm bugging. I felt like just white people resonated with Stormzy. Maybe I'm ignorant because both of you lot know more than me. You're an artist and you work in the music industry, so you guys will know more than me. I just feel
He's got a
outside
fan base.
looking in,
But it's
it
about.
just
But it's
the
about
white
how,
ways resonating.
He's got a fan base,
but
but,
I
it's
mean-
but it's the other way around.
how did he
like,
get
he's
there?
put in these
What'd you say?
situations where
How did he get there? How did he get there? How did he get to the point where white people resonated with him? How did he get to the point where he was headlining Glastonbury?
Because his music still held the weight.
Well, that's subjective.
I feel like Gangsters
No,
and
I
Praise.
get what Yemi's getting.
I feel like Gangsters and Praise.
understand the
I feel like
question
Gangsters and
you're
Praise
asking.
was a great album. That's just me personally. I feel like he's held its weight. I feel like Gangsters and Praise was good. I feel like he's gonna follow it with another one.
At the point in which
But,
he was,
yeah, when you
at the
look
point
at
in
it-
which he was like making,
Yeah, I feel
headlining those festivals, did he have enough
Glastonbury
to,
had it
to
that
be
far.
able to
Glastonbury-
get those
also the-
points?
it's-
I
what
get
I'm
why
saying.
Stormzy had
And it's
that.
also the way we rallied for Gangs Hands and Prayer to be number one. I've never seen that for an artist. The way where everyone was just saying like, "Yo, let's get Stormzy to number one."
But it's a
Let's get
different
Stormzy to
time now.
number
though.
one.
I feel like that's what,
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like we do that now. We done that for Mo Stack, even though it ended up number 3. Mo Stack had a number 3 album in the world. It's just a different time now. Dave had a number 1 album, I think.
Yeah,
It's
we
just a
live in
different
different
time now.
We live in different time.
with number 1 albums. It's gonna happen more often than now. Just someone needed to break it. Do you know what I mean?
Probably.
I feel like now we're gonna have like Mo Stack went number 3. I bet you when Fredo drops an album, it's gonna be top 5. It's just a different time.
Is it possible for an artist to look like a plant but not actually be a plant though? So is it possible that it's literally just right place, right time, right opportunities, right relationships, and they're actually just not a plant? They're just lucky.
I think you'd have
Maybe
to
there
be-
are more instances of that than we think about, but we're quick to draw for the they're a plant thing.
It depends on what they
I
say.
think there has to be a level of complicity.
I think there
though.
are very, very few instances
I think it
in,
depends on
in
what
the
they say
music
as well.
game where it's just like good
Coincidence.
timing, coincidence. Like record labels, the whole business of record labels is they're thinking months and months and months ahead. Like now it's more difficult because everything's streaming, everything is viral, but like strategy is a big part of how you roll out someone. You know what I mean? Like,
I got a question for you, lot. Not a rapper. Is Georgia Smith a plant?
yep.
Yes,
Because I feel like she's the biggest one I've ever seen.
she
Like,
definitely is.
I can't name. She's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I can't name a single song of hers.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she's number 1, like the GOAT of plants.
Some people are so like,
obvious with it.
I don't know what it is with Georgia Smith, man. I've never really been too overly enamored, do you know what I mean, by her music. Like, clearly she's like a beautiful specimen, do you know what I mean? But I can't really see a great deal of musical greatness there.
I feel like there's a lot of people better. Than her.
There's a lot of people better than her, but that's another debate about
Ray
why
Black-
certain girls get
Ray Black shits
more
on
love.
her.
Yeah, more
Like,
love.
Ray
More
Black
love.
shits on her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's another debate. We know what that is, but like, yeah.
So yeah, obviously I know someone that knows Georgia, and we had a conversation about Georgia being a plant, and she swore that she wasn't a plant, that she's worked way too hard to get to where she's at. So there's no way that she could be a plant.
Would she say
I
anything
mean,
else?
Stormzy has too.
But would she say anything? It's like right now, if you guys are my boys, and then someone says, "Yo, these lot got to where they," I'm not gonna let no one shit on you.
And that's why I rate Little Nas X, man, like, because he was just like, yeah, I'm a plant, so what?
I think he's trolling though.
He's a troll though. He's he's
yeah,
that
but it's
generation.
laced with truth though.
No, but he's that
Yeah,
generation of like.
No, but I think he's telling the truth and he doesn't care. Because
He's
again,
definitely a
I
plant.
said before, if it wasn't such a muddy word. Do you know what I mean? If it didn't have so many like negative connotations, like I think most people would be comfortable with it. I think most people want to have those opportunities because that whole slog at the beginning to get to those opportunities is the worst part, man. Like artists just want to make art.
Yeah.
No, I
Lil Nas X is basically just like a viral star. Like I don't know if you might know the story, but basically he had that song. It wasn't doing too good, and then it picked up heat on TikTok, which is the video app. You know those apps where you have like the cut videos and it's over music and stuff like
Chinese
that?
people use that beer.
Sure. And it basically got viral off that, and TikTok were able to make moves to make sure it was more visible on their app. And Columbia basically picked up on that, signed him,
And then pushed it.
re-released the thing, and
Got Billy Ray Cyrus on it.
got Billy Ray Cyrus on it, Diplo on it. In a way, yeah, he is as well. But there are different ways. There are definitely different ways to which people do it.
I get what you lot are saying, because to see Stormzy, to me, Stormzy's the biggest artist we've ever had.
Right, it's
So
what
it
you
is-
do with it, man.
It's a bit much, because, do you know what I mean? When you think about it, he's the biggest artist I think UK's ever produced, in my opinion, rapper. I feel like no one's ever... to headline Glastonbury, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to get there in, 5 years?
But is it also possible to
that-
be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When
That
you look
says
at it
a
like
lot.
that, yeah, for you to headline Glastonbury...
It's not even been
wireless,
5. Has it been 5? Really, though? I think it's been 3.5.
And for him to
It's been
headline...
5.
Like,
Stormzy.
His first EP was like,
no, it's been about
5
5.
years ago.
Yo, it's been about 5. It's been about 5.
But from Shut Up to now.
oh, from Shut Up to now,
It's still been about 5.
about 4.
About 4. But if you think about it,
No.
he's headlined Wireless, V Festival, Glastonbury, a #1 album. Like, all of this in 4 years.
All the chips are falling for him, and he is using his.
And he's been on
He's
TV.
using his influence for good. Great, but that doesn't negate from the fact
then-
that he's been put in that position. I feel like.
I feel like him as a person, respectable, he gives salutes where he can. You know what I mean? He gives back where he can.
Yeah, look.
As a man, he's faultless.
I mean,
in my
plants
opinion.
aren't horrible people.
Yeah, I'm not about to come in there and
Plants
tell
aren't
you.
No, but like, it's got such a bad, like, it's just the word, because I need people to understand. Stormzy comes across as a nice guy. He gives back to people. He shouts out who needs to shout out. His music holds the weight. It's just that word is such a, like you say, got a negative connotation.
Is
behind
it
it.
possible for like?
I just want them to do away with the whole independent story stuff. I do not care if you've been put in that position because the labels have seen something in you and you have nailed it. Like the part of the story we need to focus on as well is what I said, right? You're given this position of power and responsibility. It's what you do with it really that counts. And Georgia Smith, killing it. Stormzy, killing it.
Is Jordan Smith killing it?
Lil Nas X. I mean, she's still making money. She's still out here
killing it.
headlining shows and stuff.
Grammy nominee.
You feel me? Like she got a Grammy nomination.
That's
Debatable,
that's
you know what I mean? But yeah.
That's the devil right there. Fam.
But it is what it is, you know what I mean? She's still active and she's still, I guess, earning some P off of this thing. So
P, you want to give your
I'm
opinion?
not touching the Georgia Smith topic, man.
Fine.
All in all, shout
Do we
out.
know-
But what I want to ask though, sorry, just before we change topics, is it possible to be selected as a plant and it not pop off?
yep,
Example?
Rory.
Lady Sovereign.
Facts.
I think they tried to make her the next one.
But Lady Sovereign was doing bits, man, in her own right. It was trash music, innit? But like she was doing bits from early, like she was. You know what I mean? She just got signed when they thought she was the cool one in the UK wave. You know what I mean? Like no one knew why, but N-Dubs also got propelled. They were the least reflective of what was going on in the UK at the time, and they fucked it up for everyone first time around. And it took so long for it to swing around. If we were able to build on it then, we would have been in this position where we are now 5 years, 6 years ago.
Why do you think they fucked it up?
Because they came over and they tried to exploit. The labels basically tried to exploit, and I said it was just wrong artist selection. You associated rap with N-Dubs and Lady Sovereign at one point, bruv.
It was never.
Wow, and then they had the man like Storm, Chipmunk and Tinchin and man making songs like #1.
Even Skepta softened up as well.
You know what I mean?
That was
Look what they did to
Even
Skeppy.
Rich.
The less said about that, the better.
Even Rich.
You said the other day you didn't like that song Tractor. That was crazy to me, by the way.
He's a fool.
I hate
I don't
Tractor.
understand.
Shit, that song is fucking
I
cold.
hate Tractor.
Cold,
I
bro.
hate Tractor. But I'm a bro.
I didn't like the other one.
Reggie
For example.
I hate that song too, though. But Reggie
Most lead singles make me cringe,
But like,
innit? Like,
I hated them two songs. But Rich
that one's fire.
These are
Yeah,
not how I
yeah,
feel about Rich. So as a purist, I will never like that song. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't like.
you know what purpose it
but like,
serves, innit?
I don't like Cole. Can't get enough too much. If I
Yeah,
hear
I
it,
love that tune.
you hear me.
That's
Cold.
that tune's fire.
That's
as
a good
well,
tune.
But then it's like,
I need that.
alright, cool. So back to Stormzy.
No, back to Rory, because Rory was a great example. Rory was definitely someone who seemingly had the world at his feet. He was kind of like Chance, even though Chance was Chance. He kind of made
They were trying to push him as the next Andre.
Yep.
They tried it, man.
yeah.
He won't be tried.
They tried it.
He kind of just faded away without much.
And I tried to like him too.
And then what
They
happens?
conditioned my mind to make me try to like this guy. I tried.
that's
And then
what
what
they do.
happens? Like, this is the thing, like, about the plant. And it's important. It's an important question because, like, if the plant thing doesn't work out and you're just left with your day ones and you haven't built day ones organically, you end up like Rory. And I'd take it even further. And I know that Tiny Tempers are sort of different flavor, but I don't know who's checking for Tiny.
I don't remember the last time.
I don't know
accept the
anybody
Tiny one,
who's checking for Tiny.
I can't accept the Tiny one.
I get it when he explains the way he did. Like when
It
Rich
makes sense because there was a massive gap between
when Rich
Wifey
explains the
Rhythm-
way he did.
I
I
don't
get
know.
linked up with Lambreth and all that. It makes sense.
Bruh,
when you
like
like that.
and then when that was gone, he's doing songs with like Zara Larsson. He's basically a feature on songs and he's pushing that as his own single because there's no other hits.
I get it, bro.
You know what I mean? Like,
But he was massive at one point. This guy
shout out Tiny though, man.
Tiny
Like,
song was on WrestleMania, bro.
yeah.
Is Chance still a plant then? Even after this?
Is it hard? I
this
mean,
debut
Until
album?
he admits it.
things about plants is that they eventually blossom, man. It doesn't matter. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's literally just like planting the fucking seed and waiting for that shit to expand. And once you get to the point where it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who cares?
But are they bad for
I would
the
argue that he probably peaked when he was a
Are
plant.
they bad though for...
No, I don't think they are bad. I want a Chance the Rapper.
Do you think there's anything wrong with being a plant?
No.
If the music is whacked, then of course.
It's just a different way to bring an artist to the market now.
If it's good music, then we all
It's all a
win.
business.
Then maybe
at the
that's
end
why I
of the day.
feel away with Stormzy, because I feel like it's good music.
Yeah.
So I don't like associating with it.
Whereas I don't think it's good music. So
I'm not the biggest.
There was zero need to add that.
Don't-
Like, zero need to add
just
that.
saying.
Like there was zero need for him to say I don't like his music.
Crown was trash, man.
Crown is
I
so
like
bad.
Crown.
No, you don't.
What, fam?
Crown.
Say that with a
Heavy.
straight.
Yo,
One more
telling
time.
someone
One more
I
time.
don't
One more
like
time with a
something
straight
hilarious.
face. Say that again with
Wait,
a
I'm trying to
straight
remember how the
face.
lyrics go, fam. Heavy is the end. Yeah, fam, that song was alright still. I didn't mind Crown.
No, sir.
I didn't like. Look, fam, you man ain't gonna fight me for what I like.
I might.
Vossy Bop wasn't even.
Vossy what was? Nah, stop it. Vossy
The
what was
beat
that?
is hard, but
Yo, fam. Nah, fam. With Idris in the video as well.
I hate when people try to make something that
Idris
isn't a thing.
listen, I
Like,
had to
what
like-
is a Vossy Bop?
Nah, Vossy Bop was wavy, fam. Vossy Bop and Idris was in the video, and Idris married to a Somali woman. So by default, I have to like the song.
That's a link.
You know what I mean? You know what
he
I'm
said that so effortlessly as well. Like,
saying? 60 separation.
it's like he's been preparing it in the chamber for a
separation,
while.
16 degrees of separation, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
Come on now, fam.
Say Mo smarter than that
Yeah,
song.
no, I think
A little bit.
Chance ain't a plant no more. Chance is fully established and he's making mad money and he's a good artist and like, I really like him.
It's like Pokemon, fam. You remember that flower? It evolves you to a madness.
Oh,
What was it called?
Oh, Bulbasaur?
That's not Bulbasaur.
no, the plant.
Bulbasaur was the grass. But like,
this
remember there was the yellow
plant,
one
the plant.
with the mouth, and it just had a mouth.
Oh, Weeping Bell.
Yeah, fam. This is what this reminds me of.
Oh,
and that turned into nice. Yeah, them plant
but anyway, this is what this
Bell.
reminds me of. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Yeah, that
fam?
makes sense.
Victory Bell. I don't know.
Our majority of
Anyway.
plants white.
No,
No.
no,
Well,
Let's
I
check
don't
it.
know.
Let's check it.
no, I don't think so. But my boy, who's the newest plant? Lad who pulled up. Lad who went up on.
Alex.
Man who went up on stage at Glastonbury with Dave.
Yeah, Alex.
Oh, Alex from Glastonbury.
You think he's a
Plant.
plant?
100% a plant.
My G, he was on Good Morning TV the next day.
But that's
Yeah, but that's
I don't- he's got a song out now.
yeah, but we didn't know Dave was gonna pick him.
No,
though.
to me that's more.
You don't think that was part of a marketing plan?
But then that says Dave.
How so?
That means Dave's got something to do with it.
How so?
Of course, Dave's got something to do with it.
I don't think so, man.
Well, actually, to be fair, he was wearing the PSG hat. He knew what it was.
But then that
to
doesn't
Thiago
mean
Silva.
shit. That's like me wearing
I
an
think-
Arsenal top and then I got a song called Henri.
That's kind of close though.
He
That's kinda
plucked the
close.
But then
one man.
no,
Do you
but
know how
Dave-
big
Dave-
Glastonbury is?
But Dave does that every single show. Every single show Dave does, he pulls someone out to sing Thiago.
Are they always wearing a PSG?
And then
shirt?
how come how come none of them else are blown?
Because this was Glastonbury. He does that at every single show.
Bruv.
The only show he never done it, and he even said it when I saw him at Murky Fest. He was like, "This is the first time I've done Thiago Silva and haven't brought anyone on stage."
Dave,
The only reason why I feel like this
how
white
much
boy
you want to bet, bruv? I guarantee my life, nobody on Good Morning TV knows who Dave is.
No, but
How the hell is
but this my
Dave
point.
plucking someone
But this
from
my point.
Glastonbury's
This my
crowd
point,
gonna
though. I
end them
feel
up on
like-
TV
I feel
before
like-
Dave?
I feel like this was the conversation we had last week. I feel like this is a race. I feel like race plays a factor in that. Do I think he's a plant now? Yes, because I feel like the money behind him.
But it's not
But
like-
I feel like the only reason why he was on GMTV, whatever the fuck that
it's
show
not
was
like
called,
Stormzy
is 'cause
pulling him
it's-
up or Beyonce
bruv,
pulling
It's
him
because he's a
up.
white boy rapping.
Man.
That's literally all it is in my opinion. Is a white boy rapping. Alright, come on stage.
We seen that before.
Where?
If you had one shot, one opportunity,
And where is he?
rapping like this.
Like, do you know what I mean? I genuinely feel like it's just a race thing. I feel like this white boy. I remember
We've
BBC
seen
tweet-
white boys
I remember
rapping. Like
BBC
Dappy's been a white boy rapping since.
Dappy's different.
Why?
Dappy's a white boy who thinks he's got pigment.
But why is he now making a song though?
Because
Why
he's a
can't
white boy who's a cultural. Let me know if it gets
He
started.
is a plant.
No, I get
my
started.
yay.
Like, he
What's
is
my
like-
name? My guy's name. My
Yeah,
yay.
he is different. That's a
Bruv,
sparkle, by the way.
he's another one. Like,
No,
there are plants all
but
over
I
the
don't
place.
I feel like he's a plant. I feel like, what's the white boy's name? Let's call him Billy. I feel like Billy is a
Alex.
plant.
Alex.
I was
Billy's
very
better.
close, by the way.
Okay,
I was
go on.
very
That
close.
wasn't even close.
Now, when I see John now, yeah, the reason why I feel like he's a plant now is because it's circumstantial. He went on stage. Now they know they can put money behind him.
Bro,
You don't feel like
you don't think this is the wildest convenience.
I'm not gonna lie.
coincidence.
Maybe in my opinion, it might be because of where I have Dave. I can't see Dave doing that more than anything else, just because I look at Dave at a certain stature. Do you see what I'm saying?
Then you got to bring him down a peg or two.
No, 'cause
because
I
it don't mean just because he's a great artist, authentic. That doesn't mean he may not be involved with the play.
I don't feel like he is.
All right, cool.
I
This
genuinely
guy
don't
went
feel
on.
like he is.
I think he was on.
But
like,
that's
Sky News.
That's not.
He was on
that's-
everything.
You know
Good
what I'm saying though,
morning.
bruv? That's not.
Like-
I feel like that literally. I feel like the Dave and him thing was organic. I feel like whatever happened after, it's literally a white boy was on stage in Glastonbury. We're in England and we know what kind of country England is when it comes to race.
But he's also been given an opportunity to
Because he's
go and
white.
But he can also be a plant too.
I agree. I didn't say he's not a plant. I said he's a
bro.
plant afterwards.
Everybody-
I feel like what him and Dave done was circumstantial,
There
and
would've
then he
been-
became a plant.
Well, Bad Baby as well. Bad Baby's a plant.
There would have
Bad
been.
Baby's- of course she's a plant.
100%. 100%.
But it goes back to the whiteness thing, right?
I got a question for you. What did you say?
And Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
Companies who now basically are focused on turning viral stars into pop stars.
That's the whole MO.
All right,
You feel me?
but
You do something viral which has nothing to do with music, and then eventually you become a musician. That's the strategy.
no, I agree. But I generally feel like the Dave thing was organic because he does that on every.
He could have
show.
picked anybody in.
Yeah,
It's a,
but then
it's a
what-
show.
alright,
It's
so what-
anyone in
so
the
what
front.
happens-
How much you want to bet people in the front row knew the lyrics better than that?
So
boy?
what happens if he did pick someone in the front row and the same thing happens? You're not going to say the same thing.
No, my point is it wouldn't.
But how do you know though?
It's just based on my view that this guy is a plant. I don't know for sure.
I agree. He's
I
a
don't know
plant.
for sure
No,
that the guy.
I agree he's a plant. I just think.
Oh, you think he's a plant?
Yeah, but I think the Dave and thing. I feel like the Dave and the Billy was circumstantial.
I think
And then they put the money
I think that
in
would have happened.
after.
I think that would have happened to anyone Dave picked who was somewhat capable at rapping.
That's my point. I feel like no matter
But that
who
still
he
makes-
picked,
but
no
he
matter
still
who
be
he
a plant.
picked was going to be a plant because they want to put money in him
No,
after.
no.
It just they got lucky the fact that he was a white boy.
Nah, I think it was well thought out, and I think Dave secured a bag.
It can go away.
I don't know, man.
You reckon? You think he's got to share the boohoo deal?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't
All I'm
think he's
saying
got
is-
any boohoo.
All I'm saying is,
But
I really dislike that kid.
I think it's like they'll probably end up on the same label.
Well, I dislike that kid anyway.
Look out for that.
I genuinely,
Look out for that.
I can't stand that kid.
See how far he goes if he takes it further. Let's see if him and Dave end up
It's
on the
not
same
even,
label.
But the kid's not the problem. The problem is the industry.
The kid's the problem as well
Why is he the problem?
because he's benefiting of us.
The guy is 14.
I don't care. Then
What
his
do you
mum's the
mean?
problem. Then his mum's the problem.
His mom's the problem.
Yeah, and his dad,
All right,
and
man.
his granddad.
His whole lineage.
Shout out to Khalid mum.
Don't touch me.
Nah, I'm joking.
You know about Khalid Muhammad, Rich?
No.
Muhammad, explain.
Yo, man, I can't remember. I'll send you the video.
yeah. It's in the video.
It's a bit long, fam.
Basically, an excommunicated member of the Nation of Islam.
Basically, got kicked out of Nation of Islam because it's a bit too
Because
extreme.
of his extremism.
Imagine how
Can you
extreme you
imagine?
got to be to get kicked out of Nation
Do you know
of
what I
Islam.
mean?
Wow.
You never heard of him?
He basically said we should kill all white men.
He's
women,
he's
children,
very OD with it.
dig them up, bury them, dig them up, kill them again.
Nah, say it properly, fam. He said, you gotta kill the kid. He said, you gotta kill the faggots. And then they were like, he's like, they asked me, why you gotta kill the kids? Because one day them crackers gonna raise up and, what do you say? What do you say? They're gonna raise up and own your kids. And he's like, why kill the mamas? Why kill the baby fathers? They're just blue-eyed babies. He's so flagrant, bro. What? And he's like, you kill them all. And then you dig them up. And you kill him a goddamn
views of
day.
He was
Kaleem
crazy.
Mohammed are not consistent with
Oh,
the views of the
Bro, he's
rhymes
wild,
like
fam.
dying
This guy said, I told
hosts.
Nelson Mandela
And
that
their
day he don't know a goddamn thing.
I want to guess.
You know how wild it is for him to say he was told, I told Nelson Mandela that day he don't know a goddamn thing about me. And Khalid Muhammad is mad.
Why have you got this memorized?
That's the maddest part.
That's why I had to put the disclaimer in right there.
Oh
I'm
man.
not gonna lie. I've watched it quite a few times. You need to.
And you guys call me extreme.
No, because I don't believe it though.
you're
You need
different,
to see
sure.
another thing. What's that? You guys will know. Please say you remember. What's that white guy that used to interview people like Louis Farrakhan and they'll have a white.
Oh, something Donahue.
Yeah, Liam Donahue or something. And they'll
Phil
have
Donahue.
They were Phil.
That's it,
I was
yeah.
close. Liam. They have a half and half in it. So one half is nation and one half is white people in it. Yeah. And then one lady was like, "Sign along like, you gonna apologize?" He said, "What do you shut your gut?" Bruv, I don't think when I tell you it was World War III, all this fam, yeah. One lady was cool. One black lady got up and must have said something, yeah, like along the lines of, "Why can't we all get along?" Straight after that, another black lady got on the phone. I don't know what that lady over there talking about.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
Nah, I'm not. Bruv, watching Khalid Muhammad videos is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, man. But he's too.
He's a great.
Never heard of this guy.
He's
But back to the podcast.
Yeah, he's too wild with it. Sorry.
I feel like the industry plants now are just like
They're
a way of life in the industry. They're never going to go away. If anything, they might
Yeah,
increase
man.
in size, basically.
Just
Maybe
make
they've
sure,
always been
just
there,
make
man.
sure the music's popping,
That's
man.
literally
like,
all it is.
Just make sure the music's popping and just dead the whole narrative about being super independent. If you're
Yeah.
backed by a label and you're lucky enough to be backed by a big label, man, own that shit, man. Milk that shit because the labels don't really care about you, yo. They're just taking your money.
But we live in a time
Make
where
sure you sign better deals.
the guise of artists being independent but having worked with major labels or independent labels, it's definitely a current trend that's going on still now. Like urban quote unquote artists are using labels nowadays they're basically using their resources to market the album, make the album, and then the album is still under the copyright of said artist, like an independent or whatever. So it's a thing that's going on. It's going to keep happening because I suppose it's a win-win for both parties.
Yeah, man. You're just guaranteeing success.
Who's the biggest plant you lot can think of? Period. Like just ever.
Off the top of my head, probably Chance at the moment. But there's probably been loads.
Like,
If we were calling Stormzy a
Elvis.
plant, then maybe Stormzy.
it depends, man. It's levels to it. Like,
Chance is bigger than Stormzy.
I'm talking about from a UK standpoint.
Elvis.
I'm just talking about period.
all right, well, think about it this way, right?
Elvis is great. That's great.
Plant.
Yeah.
Did you say Elvis?
Yeah.
Think he was a plant?
He definitely was a plant.
I think so, man.
Nothing
I mean,
organic about Elvis. He stole everything.
Yeah, I just think he was signed to a big.
had a lot of money
No, I just think he
behind
was
him.
signed to a big label and copied people's styles. I don't necessarily think he was a plant. He was manufactured.
Isn't that equivalent to being a plant, being manufactured?
No, because you can say, for example, I'm looking for a girl group, and you can put together a TLC. Or you can put together like a Spice Girls.
Simon Cowell does it for a living.
It's not necessarily being planted. You go out, you go and make music in the normal way that people make music. You go back to the label with a body of work, and then they say these are the singles, and then we run a campaign normally. We tap into the radio connections that we have normally. Like, that's not necessarily a plant. That's just being signed to a label.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I think they kind of go hand in hand.
No,
I think,
don't think
a
so.
lot of the time, if you're
The whole point of an industry plant, right, is that this feigned idea that you're not signed, right? You're doing this whole fake independent thing while you are aligned to a label. You're being
that's not what I
backed.
make of it. That's not what I make of it.
That's what
it is. Industry plant is somebody who is basically aligned to a label,
But saying they're independent.
but they're saying they're independent while reaping all the benefits of their industrial ties.
Well, in that case, then
Feel me?
maybe not Elvis then.
So Chance.
Yeah, so the biggest one.
Yeah.
It's a new phenomenon, right? So like, it's
Recently,
got to be in the States. It's maybe
No, but it might not be, but we won't know. Do you know what I mean?
maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like a newer phenomenon now in terms of like no one really cared before. And now people kind of like, oh, you're a plant. I don't even know why fans care about that shit. But like, yeah, in the US, maybe Chance. In the UK, probably Stormzy.
No, it's definitely.
I mean,
Not Georgia Smith.
other fans will just
Maybe
use it as a
Georgia
crutch against the artist because they might not necessarily like or respect
but
the
like, if you're
artist.
Stormzy, do you give a fuck, man? Like,
Nah, no
as
way.
Mo rightly said, like Stormzy's come out and it's just like nothing but props and gratitude to the people who come before him. Like, he's doing it the right way.
He's the reason why. Yeah,
Do you
I
know what I
feel
mean?
like he's
He's doing
gonna
it the
buy
right way.
But that's why he's offended. That's why Mo's offended.
Yeah,
when
because
people call him a plant.
like he does.
But
stuff
they can
that-
coexist,
But he's
that's the thing.
yeah, but he does stuff I don't see a lot of rappers do. I don't know how many rappers have given back to their community like that.
Yeah.
as
But he's-
publicly as he has.
But as Rich said, he's blossomed.
Yeah, I feel you.
now he's doing
Yeah, no, I agree. Because like
what he
when-
wanted to do anyway.
When Skepta does performances, when Skepta was the first rapper to headline Wireless, no knock against him. At least him talk like, yo, shout out to this person, like the same way Stormzy did when he headlined.
The big difference is
I get what you say. The difference is stage, but what I'm saying
no,
is
not even that.
What?
Skepta was actually independent.
no. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying the gratitude that Stormzy gives. I don't see a lot of rappers.
Have
give.
they ever
does that
done
mean?
have they
I'm saying that the
have
way-
they ever done a song together? Stormzy and Skepta.
I don't think so.
They've been featured on a Avelino song together, but they haven't done a song together.
I think there's something to that.
What do you think this?
What? What do you think there's something to?
Let's just leave the suspense.
Shout out to Stormzy, man. He's winning his life.
He just
man.
fucked up the
Got-
suspense.
That would have been dope as well.
He just fucked up the suspense.
Silence.
Oh, you want to leave it?
Silence.
Cool. I've got
Can you quiet?
a... I'm a grown man, fam. Don't silence me, fam. You're not Dumbledore, fam.
I just think there's something to
Yes, I
that.
am.
You're not Dumbledore, fam. Don't say silence.
You
to
got a
me, fam.
beacon of independence and the face of industry plants. Whoa. Personality.
It's like Gryffindor versus Slytherin.
I'm saying. I just think there's something to it.
Well, on that note,
There's probably nothing to it.
There is a note to it. No, they generally not. They ain't
You
got
know,
no
you know,
problem.
I'm
sounds
lying.
better though, innit?
You know I'm lying. There's definitely something to it.
I don't feel like there is, you know. Because Stormzy had beef with someone. I forgot who it was.
Two biggest grime artists, both make grime, never collabed. At the same time, at the peak of our success.
Yeah, when you say that, it's a bit wild. He even had Crazy Tish on his album.
I'm saying.
Who had Crazy Titch?
Stormzy.
Oh shoot.
at the same
Stormzy-
time, but at the same time, I mean, it's not like
Sorry.
all the biggest pop stars collab with each other
Rap is UK rap.
Yeah, but I feel
But
all
UK
the
rap's
time.
different
all the time.
No, but rap is different though. UK rap is different.
Yeah, man.
It's a-
They're
everyone
around the
show-
corner from each other. They see each other all the time.
Everyone showing
I
love to
hear you,
everyone.
but I mean, there's obviously a
To
reason
never
why it
have
hasn't
a song
happened.
with each
But there's
other?
obviously a reason why it hasn't happened.
Yeah, but to never have a song with each other.
But that can happen.
I mean, it could be that Stormzy doesn't like Skepta's style, or Skepta doesn't like Stormzy's style. It could be something as simple as that, but I don't.
Let's not start anything.
so.
Innit? Well, let's
Or
not
it could
start
just be
anything.
personal. There could be like personal issues.
Let's not start anything. man.
Skepta wants to move to my jammer.
I mean, who doesn't?
I feel him.
God bless her, fam.